look at the absolute worst black cards on the reserve list. You see, just because it's on the reserve list doesn't mean it's good. Starting off with the Black Carriage. For a black 3 generic, we got a 4/4 Summon Carriage? Is that really how... I don't think that's how it works. Hold on, what exactly is the creature? It's a horse. All right, they've updated the errata on the Black Carriage. Okay, we got a 4/4 horse with trample for 5 mana. At the cost of 2 Dark Rituals, you could ramp this thing out. Doesn't untap during your untap step. Well, that's not exactly something I'm even looking forward to. And for 0 mana... sacrifice a creature, untap Black Carriage. Use this ability only during your upkeep. So it's not even a sack outlet that's even slightly reliable. If you want to combo off through sack outlets, you got to do it during the upkeep. We made it. That's right. Slightly, just slightly late. Just slightly late today. All right, today's subject, we are looking at the absolute worst black cards on the reserve list. And I will continue this journey on with Infernal Denizen. Which, whoops, did I get this one? There we go, the Infernal Denizen for a black 7 generic. We got a 5/7 creature, which might have been pretty big at the time. We are summoning a demon. Back then, they would say summon the creature that you're actually summoning. These days we have creature types. During your upkeep, sacrifice 2 swamps if you cannot tap Infernal Denizen, and target opponent may gain control of target creature of his or her choice you control. What the... How much worse can this get? We're not even done halfway through the card. The opponent loses control of that creature if Infernal Denizen leaves play. So essentially, okay, get this thing in play. I gotta be sacking swamps. Otherwise, my opponent takes my other creatures. And then I gotta kill this stupid demon to get them back. And we have the ability tap, gain control of target creature. Oh! Okay, not bad. Lose control of that creature if Infernal Denizen leaves play. It's like a weird hop. Can they take this thing? I guess this is a sort of a weird card, right? So maybe they could take any other creature. Hold on, what's the Oracle text? They can tap if you can't tap Infernal Denizen, an opponent may gain control of a creature you control of their choice for as long as Infernal Denizen remains on the battlefield. So they could steal the Infernal Denizen, but then you could steal their cards. What a weird way to sort of, I don't know, bluff your opponent into taking this damn thing. All right. Okay, old boy's got one. We got the Demonic Hordes. Demonic, aren't they? All right, we got. How much mana is this? This is black, 3 generic for a 5/5 demon. Tap, destroy target land. But at the beginning of your upkeep, unless you pay the triple black, tap Demonic Hordes and sacrifice a land of an opponent's choice. So it works both ways. It works both ways. You basically have to perpetually pay this 3 mana, or all of a sudden your lands are gonna get start to get sacrificed. And I guess if it goes downhill, if things go bad, things get even worse. I'm just trying to think about the dynamic with Dark Ritual back then. It like would punish you if you tried to ramp this thing out with like ritual off of 2 swamps. You would get that 6 mana, but you don't have any mana to pay the upkeep, and at that point, you're gonna lose all your lands. But at least you can take down your opponent's lands with you. They'll take it, and it's a 5/5 creature after all. All right, we got Brian with Minion of Tavesh Tsar. Oop, did I get that right? Minion. Okay, maybe I'm not getting this thing. What is this card called? Okay, let's try to get oh, it's Tsar. We're gonna get it. We're gonna get it. Why is this being so complicated? Tavesh Tsar, please. Tavesh. Maybe just Tsar? This is not it. How about Tavesh? I just look up only Tavesh. Okay, we have some. It's Minion of Tavesh Shat. It's Shat, people. I didn't know they, or Szat. I think if I was pronouncing this in the Polish way, it would be called Shat, which is the past form tense of, you know, something else we do. All right, black, 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 4 generic for a 4/4 demon minion. At the beginning of your upkeep, minion of Tavesh Shat deals 2 damage to you unless you pay double black. You can also tap it. Target creature gets +3, -2 until end of turn. That's actually a pretty... I'm not gonna play this for 7 mana. I mean, that's just a little too much mana for this ability. But you can buff up your creatures or kill off small creatures of your opponent's choice. Hey, I mean, like, stuff like, you know, Ragavan, you know, don't even dare. Imagine Ragavan getting shat on by the minion of Tavesh Shat. I would love to see that flavor. But unfortunately, you'd have to be playing with one of the worst black cards in all of Magic the Gathering. Oh, wait, what's next? What do we got here? Spell Stutter with the Grinning Demon. Grinning Demon. Black, black, 2 generic for a 6/6 demon. At the beginning of your upkeep... Hold on, this isn't a reserve list. Disqualified! We need reserve list cards. You know, you would think all the reserve list cards are expensive. They can also be really cheap because they are that bad. Aku the Jin. All the Jins are all great, mighty, and powerful. Black, black, 3 generic for a 5/6 genie. That's right, I called them a genie. Big deal. Trample. During your upkeep, each opponent puts a +1/+1 counter on each creature he or she controls. People will play, you know, there are people who will spend 6 mana to get that effect. We're just donating it to them for nothing. In exchange, we only have like a 5/6 trampler of our own. There's no and without any serious evasion either. Next up, we've got the Cosmic Horror from Andrea. Looks disgusting. Okay, this looks like the leftovers from some sort of, I don't know, family restaurant that was left, I don't know, forgotten behind the freezer, and it decided to mutate because of the, I don't know, the radiant heat. All right, moving on. Black, 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 3 generic for a 7/7 horror with first strike. Oh, it's not a reserve list. See what people doing. It's not a reserve list card. It was illustrated by Jesper Mirfos. You gotta do your homework, people. We need reserve list cards. Bad reserve list cards. I don't even think is Baron Singer reserve list. Well, I called him Baron Singer. Baron Singer. He is on the reserve list. All right, we got the, like, I don't know. Is he the first vampire? Just like the first sliver, we've got the first vampire. Black, 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 5 generic for a 5/5 vampire with flying. Whenever a creature dealt damage by Baron Singer, this turn is put into a graveyard. Put a +2/+2 counter on Baron Singer, and you can tap it to regenerate another target vampire. All at the low cost of 8 mana. I love waiting to get to 8 mana so I can play my Baron Singer. Granite Gargoyle. Thank you so much, David. Hey, Granite Gargoyle is a red gargoyle. Red 2 generic for a 2/2 flyer. Because, you know, if it's red and flying, it has to be underwhelming. And we got for a red Granite Gargoyle gets +2/+1. Sorry, +0/+1 until end of turn. If you have a lot of mana, you can boost the toughness on his booty. Butt gets bigger. Arms don't. Arms stay the same. While most overworlders, fortunately, don't realize this, gargoyles can be most delicious, providing you have an appropriate tools to carve them. As Morano Mardigadasna Kuldakar. Oh my god! Was that on the original card? It was! As Morano's been around since the beginning of beta! That's crazy! It took like 30 years for Asmorano to become an actual card. Literally, name literally takes up the entire box. Yeah, and they framed it perfectly so that it, the Underworld Cookbook. Unbelievable. Yeah, mentioned during the beginning of the game. It's like we completely forgot about her. Unbelievable. Ain't Black Side. Oh yeah, this... Man, it's hard to follow instructions today. It's hard to follow, so like, I gave this card way too much time. Way too much time. Not black is reserve list. Got people mentioning black cards not on the reserve list, red cards that are on the reserve list. Andrew, okay, Frankenstein's Monster. Oh, this card. Black, black, X. When Frankenstein's monster is brought into play, if you do not take X creatures from your graveyard and remove them from the game, Frankenstein's monster is countered. Oh, good. Is that really? Is that how they worded it later? It gets countered? Okay, as Frankenstein's monster enters the battlefield, exile X creature cards from your graveyard. If you can't, put Frankenstein's monster into its owner's graveyard instead of onto the battlefield. Okay, so it's not technically countered. For each creature card exiled this way, Frankenstein's monster enters the battlefield with a +2, +0, a +1/+1, or a +0/+2 counter on it. Give them extra butts. If you give them a big butt from, like, I don't know, some security guard, he'll have more toughness. It's just simply how it is. Okay, Crowcore Games, thank you so much for the super chat. Aku Dejin, it's garbage. Did we look at that one? I think we just looked at that one. We just looked at that one. Yeah, I agree. It's complete trash. Donate. I mean, I guess this is the type of card you want to donate to somebody else, so you get the +1/+1 counters. Here you go. Here's that Aku Dejin. And also, here you go. Take it. Please take it from me. I don't need this damn thing anymore. Dark Master. Technically speaking, Demonic Tutor could let you search for a bad reserve list card. So does Demonic Tutor count? Absolutely not. Demonic Tutor is an amazing card. You can get good things with that card too, you know. All right, Toads with the Wave of Terror. Or is it? Wave of Terror, black 2 generic. Enchantment with cumulative upkeep of 1. At the end of your upkeep, bury each creature with casting cost equal to Wave of Terror's last paid cumulative upkeep. What the hell? Bury each creature. Oh, it includes yours. I guess this like counts as like an okay sweeper of some sort. You could pay it for 3 mana. At the end of your upkeep. So like, okay, so you take your turn, upkeep, pay 1, blow everything up with a casting cost of 1. Is it only creatures? Bury each creature, yeah. That is a very interesting sweeper, especially if you do not run any creatures yourselves. You would gladly play the Wave of Terror. The wave would be slow, though. First you hit the 1s, then you hit the 2s, and then maybe you're dead by then. Who knows? We got more super chats. Thank you very much. Coulter Chase. Crovax the Cursed. Cursed he is. Black, black, 2 generic for a 0/0 vampire. Crovax the Cursed. What is the original? Stronghold? Oh, I thought it was going to be Homelands. They got them bad vampires in Homelands. Is it Homelands that's the home of Baron Singer? Maybe I have not. Maybe I've lost track where he came from. Crovax the Cursed counts as a vampire. You got it, bud. Crovax comes into play with 4 +1/+1 counters on it. All right, so what's the downside? During your upkeep, sack a creature and put a +1/+1 counter on Crovax, or remove a +1/+1 counter from Crovax. So I can either move it up or move it down. You can pay a black. Crovax gains flying until end of turn. That is not the worst card I've seen. It is not good. I certainly wouldn't want to put it. I'm surprised it's actually so cheap for a vampire. It's a 4/4 for 4 mana. With nothing really relevant. You actually have to pay mana to give it flying. Is that the world we live in with the vampires? Some of them just naturally fly. That's just how it is. It doesn't say converted mana cost, so on technicality, it only hits colorless creatures? Really? At the end of your... Okay, hold on. What does it say? What does the Oracle text say? At the beginning of your draw step, destroy each creature with mana value equal to the number of H counters. Mana value is converted mana cost. That's what it is these days. It's been updated. No technicalities there. It is going to blow up the 1-drops and the 2-drops and the 3-drops. Homelands had all the Sanger family. Oh, poor Sangers. The land of the bad cards. That was like the anti-fire design at the time. That was, we call that the ice design. Smooth and cold and cool. Nothing to see here design. Okay, Erland with the Cabal Ghoul. Oh, the Cabal Ghoul. A black 2 generic for a 1/1 zombie. At the end of turn, put a +1/+1 counter on Cabal Ghoul for each creature put into a graveyard from play this turn. The only way you're going to get like creatures in the grave in mass numbers is effectively if you destroy everything, which at that point you probably killed your Cabal Ghoul. Unless you blew everything up, then reanimated him. I guess that's how it works. But it's really not that impressive. Oh, great, you have a one slightly big creature. Big deal. Some people love Cabal Ghoul for the art. He's not that bad. Reminds me of Mars Attacks for some reason. This looks like that alien sort of suit that they wore. You know what I'm talking about? Does anyone get my drift? Mars Attacks? No, just me? Okay, whatever. Moving on with the super chats. King Ginger, thanks so much for your super chat. Dystopia. Dystopia seems really bad. Black 1 generic enchantment. Cumulative upkeep of paying 1 life. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, that player sacrifices a white or green permanent. That is a neat card. I don't know if it's worth paying 1 life every turn, but if you can sack your enchantments, it's a little difficult to do in black. So you're gonna have to maybe splash a little bit to get rid of this. If you're not okay, so if you're playing blue, red, black, maybe you can make like a pretty good haymaker. This actually doesn't look too bad. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, that player sacks a white or green permanent. The lands are colorless. Anyway, I don't know how this works out in practice. You're gonna screw everyone's playing white or green. Look, name me somebody who doesn't play a white or green deck. You have 4 people at the table. Someone's playing white or green. Does Phyrexian Negator count? I think by today's standards, you'd be right. There's gonna be a lot of people that are gonna say like, oh, what about the past? Phyrexian Negator. What about the past? This card was an all-star. Yeah, at the time when there was no burns. Well, there actually were burn decks back then. So a black 2 generic, you had a 5/5 horror with trample. When Phyrexian Negator is dealt damage, sacrifice a permanent for each 1 damage dealt to it. That is catastrophically bad. 1 bolt and you just lost your battlefield. It's the reverse obliterator. It's like the inverted Phyrexian Obliterator. They fixed this card by printing Phyrexian Obliterator. They cease to exist. It's correct. Nobody wants this card. It had like it had some playability at the time because if you it was a big creature. If you ramped into it with Dark Ritual against a control deck or a combo deck, it was like a really good clock, and generally speaking, they couldn't deal any damage to it. So it had that use. Sometimes you could just deal a bunch of damage to your opponents, and how did this work with damage on the stack? So like before your opponent dies, damage on the stack, you'd have to sack some permanents. No, but damage on the stack anyway, you could sack all your permanents at this point. Who cares? I'm showing my age, Does anyone know what damage on the stack means? Don't worry, don't ask. It was like a very convoluted, complicated part of Magic the Gathering's history. Bandit says everyone was playing combo at the time and needed quick damage to beat a combo. Yep, that was the anti-combo card. That was the Urza era, the combo winter. Phyrexian Negator versus Mastercore. That was probably just brutal. Darth Med, has Hatred already been looked at? Nope, not yet. Hatred. That one sounds familiar. The 5-mana instant, pay X life, target creature gets +X/+0 until end of turn. I disagree. That is not terrible. Like, if you have a lot of life, you can just one-shot kill somebody, right? This is not the worst card in the world. It's like the pump spell of all pump spells. I would argue, actually, it's an underrated bad card, if I could call it that. All right, next up we got, Krokar Gaines coming back with another one, Haunted Wind. Do people not know your Haunting Wind? Okay, that's my fault. All right, it's my fault. Sometimes I'm like, you guys giving me these cards, especially through the super chats. At least you know how to spell them. Okay, black 3 generic enchantment. Each time an artifact in play is tapped or its activation cost is paid, Haunting Wind deals 1 damage to that artifact's controller. Is not triggered by continuous artifacts. What the hell are continuous artifacts? These devices lured so many spirits that sometimes entire battlefields would become haunted at once. I like this terrible card. It's I don't even know if it's that bad. This seems like such a great artifact hate card, but of course they can still tap them and get the ability. And if you're playing Commander, I mean, like, they have 40 life to pay. What do they care? What is a like? Would be considered a continuous artifact? Like Howling Mine? Or no, are those poly artifacts? Ugh, I don't see. I'm an old school player. I'm not that old. I'm not that old. Oracle explains it better. What is a continuous? Tell me. Oh, we don't have any Oracle text here. Okay, hold on. Whenever an artifact becomes tapped, or a player activates an artifact's ability without tap and its activation cost, Haunting Wind deals 1 damage to our artifact's controller. Okay, so I think they ignore the continuous artifact part. If any artifact taps, or a player activates an artifact's ability without a tap and its activation cost. All right, so they've actually upgraded it. All right, it's even better than it was before, even when it stank. Even when it stank. All right, we got next. Okay, who do we have? You guys are mentioning isn't Lich like an awesome bomb? I thought that's like one of the better cards, in my opinion. I don't think I could have you people badmouth Lich. This is a good card. This is a combo card. It's quadruple black. Enters the battlefield, you lose life equal to your life total, but you don't lose the game for having 0 less life. You have invincibility. This is like the worship for black. They were the original worship. It was called Lich, whatever that means. Whatever that means, I have no idea. Okay, we got Rough 1x1. Second on Carevex Spite. Triple black instant, sack all permanents. Oh god. Discard your hand, target player loses 5 life. That's it? What did it cost? Everything. Oh, how did Thanos put it? Did you do it? Like, what's the Thanos meme? Thanos meme cost everything. This is basically what we're talking about, right? What did it cost? It cost everything, but what did we do? 5 damage, apparently. Did you, okay, so I guess it's like, did you do 5 damage? Yes. What did it cost? Everything. It literally cost us everything to deal, oh, sorry, not damage. They lost 5 life. The finishing move. Yeah, I guess so. This is a very funny way to go out. You got 5 life, all right? Well, I'm gonna Carevex Spite my way out of the game. I have nothing in play, but you lost. It's just a fancy way of losing. Okay, Wesley. What do we got here, Wesley? Demonic Attorney. Could use a Demonic Attorney down here. Black, is it, what's that Simpsons guy? Lionel Hutz! This is where he'd end up. Alright, black, 1 generic sorcery. If an opponent doesn't concede the game immediately, like, how do you judge that? Like, what if they think about it on the stack for a little while? If they don't concede immediately, each player must ante an additional card from the top of his or her library. Remove this card from your deck before playing if you are not playing for ante. Demonic Attorney. Well, what does that do? All right, time to ante up another card. You did not concede immediately. Oh, there's no Oracle text to explain, or not. Okay, they removed the immediately part, which actually makes quite a lot of sense. Now it's just remove Demonic Attorney from your deck before playing if you're not playing for ante. Each player antes the top card of their library. You're just forced to do it. You don't even get the, wow, you don't even get the option to concede. You don't even, I guess you have to give the split second. Can you give cards split second? Like, next card you have as split second. All right, Demonic Attorney. You cannot even concede. Or, no, can they? I guess they could concede still in response. You just can't put anything else on the stack. You play with Annie? Yeah, I concede. Okay, imagine pulling up to a game. All right, ante my top card. All right, I'm done. I'm gone. Thank you very much. We're not here for Annie. I mean, you don't lose everything. You still have your health. You do have that. You have the rest of your deck as well. All right, funny card. Okay, yo little Ted, the Jovial Evil. You have to concede immediately. Okay, black 2 generic sorcery. Jovial Evil deals 2 damage to opponent for each white creature he or she controls. Yeah, even for a sideboard card, this is not very good. Today, for a lark, let's visit the plains. I'm sure we'll find something to entertain us. You got it. This is even bad for a sideboard card back then. We have Phyrexian Tribute. All right, let's look up Phyrexian Tributes. Tributes to Phyrexians. Black 2 generic sorcery. Sack 2 creatures, destroy target artifact. Now, truth be told, this is probably the sacrifice is accurate to destroy artifacts. Black doesn't do that. So the cost must be really high. You have to basically blow up your board in order to blow up one artifact. In your final breath, you still have something to offer, says the Phyrexia. Afari Tales. Is that a name? Afari? Actually, I don't know what it's in reference to. Moving on. Blue heart, orange heart says, you can always concede, so the rule is redundant. Gotcha. Concede immediately anyway. So if anyone's playing for ante, you can concede before you're anteing anything. Okay, let's look at Mold Demon. Andrea! Welcome. You're very active. I never see you in the morning, but you seem to be very active in the evening. Mold Demon! I love the art to it. It's like mold that became sentient. This is like the mold that's been in your refrigerator, sort of stewing and growing on a pile of bread for the last, if it goes that blue, maybe even a little red there, it's been in the fridge for like at least 6 months. So anyway, here it is in sentient form. The bread mold has come back. It's black. You took a bite out of the bread, now the bread gonna take a bite out of you. Alright, black 5 generic for a 6/6 Mold Demon. When Mold Demon is brought into play, controller must sacrifice 2 swamps or Mold Demon is buried. Swamps to the Mold Demon. Man, it must have really sucked to be like a black deck player back then. You gotta like keep sacking all your damn swamps. So now you have to be, those land drops are so precious. You only get like 1 land drop per turn, especially for the black decks. Say Gungry says technically you can put unless you concede immediately at the beginning of every card, and I think they should start doing that. Oh god, it'd be the worst errata of all time. We wouldn't like it. Okay, we got more super chats. Thank you so much, Wesley. Got another one that's terrible. The Nameless Race. Oh yeah, the what's it called? The stolen property from. They made some sort of anime out of this guy. Black 3 generic for a Star Trampler called Nameless Race. It's got this is an AI generated card. You tell me that right now. I tell you what. You know other cards that say creature and then nothing else after that? AI generated cards. This was AI generated before AI generated even exist. This is probably the card that gave the AI full license to make all these creature typeless cards in existence. Anyway, okay, pay Star Life when bringing Nameless Race into play. Effects that prevent or redirect damage may not be used to counter this loss of life. Of course not. When Nameless Race is brought into play, may not be greater than the total number of white cards all opponents have in play and in their graveyards. What? Okay, so I can pay any number of life, but the deal is the power and toughness still are each equal to the life paid as an enter the battlefield, but the amount you pay can't be more than the total number of white non-token permanents your opponents control plus the total number of white cards in their graveyards. So basically I have to wait till your opponents have like a ton of white stuff out. If they have 0 white permanents, this card does absolutely nothing. It's completely useless crap. It will be in your hand just gathering dust, waiting for its moment. Like everyone else is like, come on, do something. Play some creatures, damn it. Anyone got Savannah Lions out there? Okay, we got Yuko. That's just you. Oh, you're talking about Yuko, yeah. Yuko from the thing. From the Avatar. That's perfect. It has no creature type name. It is. It's night here in Italy. Usually I'm sleeping in this hour. All right, well, welcome. Must be a day off for you. Grandmother Singer. Whoa, grandpa. Is there a grandpa? Grandmother Sengir, the whole Sengir family. Oh god, she looks terrible. She needs some vitamins, if you ask me. Black 4 generic 3-3. I don't even think she's getting a lot of blood. She should be more hungry than she actually is. A human wizard. What? I thought they were vampires. Why is this one not a vampire? Was she just left to be alive? Yeah, the lore must be wild. She must have became a vampire. Or like, did Baron Singer go from human to vampire? I guess no one's born a vampire, right? Everyone's like, I guess the rest of the family might not be vampires. Black 1 generic. Tap. Target creature gets -1/-1 until end of turn. Pathetic. You're awful, Grandma. Well, there was no there's no secret sauce in this family. Rarely have power and madness been so delightfully wed as they have in our dear grandmother. This is Baron Singer. Pre-transformation, I guess. Maybe she got better? I doubt it. Have you ever heard of a vampire get better and turn back into a human? I haven't. Alright, we're going to look at more brutally awful cards in black on the reserve list. But you want to know where you can get them cards from? You can get them at Fusion Gaming Online, because this is where you can get them singles. And by the way, deal of the week this week, save up to 50... Actually, is that deal of the week still valid? Yeah, we're going to save it. No, we got... Oh, it's even better! Store-wide summer sale, 20% off everything, June 12th to 13th. Get in on that deal. You get all these cheap, terrible black reserve list cards, even cheaper when you're buying at FusionGamingOnline.com. You know what? This coupon probably doesn't stack because that 20%er is such insane value. But if you're not there for the deal, all other purchases on any other day will get 5% off when you use coupon code Nikachu at checkout, and it supports the channel. We're also going to thank Mana Traders, the premier place for renting Magic cards online. I would not recommend ever playing any of these bad reserve list cards on Magic Online, but if you wanted to, you can rent them with Mana Traders. They'll find them for you. I hope. I should test Mana Traders, test their inventory. Do they have this grossly disgusting useless card? Is that in the inventory of any of the bots online? Anyway, you can support the channel using my Mana Traders link in the description below, or save 10% off your first 2 months using coupon code Nikachu_PG2. Good stuff. Shout out to Mana Traders. Back to looking at Grandma here. Can't say she even looks good for her age. It's good that she has a full head of hair, I guess. Is it a different time spot? Did I miss something? No, not a different time spot. I just couldn't make it for the morning. All right, Trevor Peebles. Sup, Nikachu? Had coffee, tastes good. I still have my coffee. I'm pushing it for the coffee time. Let's go with Gravebind. 1 black to prevent regen. Oh, God. 1 black instant. Target creature can't be regenerated. Nope. Get out of here with that regeneration. Draw a card at the beginning of the next turn's upkeep. Oh my god! It redeems itself. It redeems it. It actually is not completely worthless. It's basically a cantrip. For very, very situational. Target creature can't be regenerated. So you could play this on any creature. Be very narrow, though. Very, very, very narrow. Yeah, at least it replaces itself. It's good stuff. Grandma is still human in her newer current version. Really? Invasion of Ulamog? Is she on the backside of this? Grandmother Ravi Singer. Is it the same one? 3/3 flying. Whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, put a +1/+1 counter on Grandmother Ravi Singer and you gain 1 life. Definitely a lot better than what she was back then. Took 30 years and she's slightly better than it was before. Okay, Nalia! Thank you very much for the super chat. Veldrain of Singer. Man, must have sucked for the vampire crew back then. It's like, yes, it's finally a vampire set. Oh no, they're terrible. Actually, a lot of these singers, they're all humans. This thing's still human too. It's a human rogue. 5/5 for 7 mana, and it's got black, 1 generic. Forest Walk. Doesn't say it gets Forest Walk, just Forest Walk. And -3/-0 until end of turn. Oh, it gets smaller? That's terrible. So you just have 2 unblockable damage. Poor foolish Veldrin. He goes wherever the Baron wills him. One day he'll go to die. He will, won't he? Yo, little Ted. Thank you so much for your super chat. Black Carriage. Not like the same, not the same as what Cinderella got, right? Also, name and type don't align. That's fine. I got it. She used to be a planeswalker? Well, that's wild. All right, black, 3 generic for a 4/4 carriage. Trample. Does not... Oh, we did this one. Yeah, this one's just awful. Doesn't untap during your untap step. Pay 0, sack a creature to untap black carriage. And it would not be that bad if it was at least a sack outlet. I mean, I don't know. Maybe you could put something on this creature that it can tap, and you... No, but then you have to sack a creature. I have no idea how you make this card good. That's a challenge. That's an MTG challenge right out there. You make black carriage good. Oh boy. The art of Veldrain looks exactly like what you would find airbrushed on the side of a carnival ride. The art of Veldrain? Oh, this thing? You know, it looks like some cheesy, like, movie art for something from the 80s, if you ask me. Okay, we got the Flow of the Maggots. Flow of Maggots. From Blue Heart, Orange Heart. Black 2 generic, 2/2. Cumulative upkeep of 1 cannot be blocked by non-wall creatures. I have to pay 1 mana for this grizzly bear? Cannot be blocked by non-wall. Oh, but it's unblockable. I see. But it's not gonna stay around for very long. That's just great. This could still be blocked by the walls. Are changelings walls? Tainted Spectre by Armageddon. We're looking at the worst of the worst here, people. Black 3 generic for a 2/2 flyer. Black 1 generic tap. Target player chooses a card from his or her hand, then chooses either to discard that card or put it on top of his or her library. If the card is discarded, Tainted Spectre deals 1 damage to each creature and each player. Play this ability as a sorcery. That effect is powerful. This card, the cost to getting it off is terrible. And they get to choose. Yeah, they'll just like dumpster it, I guess. Right, you have the option, I suppose, to put on top of your library if you only have 1 good card left. Basically, like, it's almost like a plow under for somebody's hand. Loading is here. Cool to finally catch my first Nikachu stream. Welcome, Loading. Always watch the VODs but never actually catch a stream. Have we looked at Carrion Ants? Let's take a look at Carrion Ants. Welcome to everybody who could never catch it before. We got black 2 generic 0/1 creature. It's already pretty terrible. Pay 1. Carrion Ants gets +1/+1 until end of turn. So basically, the power is equal to like however much mana I have. In theory, if you have infinite mana, this thing could get infinitely big. And for 4 mana, maybe that's a price you're willing to pay. War is no picnic, my father likes to say, but the ants seem to disagree. I guess that was a channel, I don't know, that was something you could empty a channel target into. Good dental insurance? Where's that from? I got good dental insurance. Look, I got greatest teeth. Shout out to my dentist. Great stuff. I get compliments on my teeth randomly, weirdly, in my comments section. You have great teeth. I mean, thank you very much. Just wasn't expecting it, that's all. Christopher B found his voice. He is in the house. Okay, we got Temerian Fiends. Let's find the word. You can find me the worst cards, Christopher B. Black 1 generic for a 1/1. I'm not even gonna read this old text. Remove Timian Fiends from your deck before playing if you're not playing for anti. That means this card is banned everywhere. All right, triple black, sack it. The owner of target artifact may ante the top card of their library if the player doesn't exchange ownership of that artifact. And Temerian Fiends, put the artifact card into your graveyard and Temerian Fiends from anywhere into that player's graveyard. This change in ownership is permanent. I bet if you just cast this card, you'll get your opponent to resign because they'll be like, I'm not playing for anti, screw it, getting out of here. Mason says, Silver Fox. I am the Silver Fox of Magic. I've heard that many times too. The Silver Fox of Magic the Gathering. I had to look that one up though. Had no idea. I appreciate the compliment. Crackling Goblin says, misfortunate. Or misfortune. Okay, technically it's black. I'll accept it. We'll accept this one. All right. So now you people know you can choose some gold cards, I guess. Sorcery. Target opponent chooses one. You put a +1/+1 counter. Hold on. Target opponent is choosing for us. You put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control and gain 4 life. Or you put a -1/-1 counter on each creature that opponent controls and Misfortune deals 4 damage to him or her. So I guess they beef you up or they screw themselves over. This is a Vexing Devil card. This is Vexing Devil before there was Vexing Devil. That's what I'm telling you. That's what I'm telling you. I wish you stream more at this hour. This is the only time I caught you live. Yeah, well, good luck. It's only going to get earlier, honestly, if it ever switches back. Oh, we got Crowcore Games here. Thanks so much for the super chat. Pillar Tombs of Aku. Can't tell if broken or bad. Well, tell you what, Crowcore Games. I've never heard of this card. So it's not a good sign for it. Looks like the Titanic, but it's not a ship. Okay, black, 2 generic for Enchant World. Okay. During each player's upkeep, that player sacrifices a creature, or that player loses 5 life, and you bury the Pillar Tombs of Aku. So basically, it's just gone in one shot. Okay, I sack a token. It's useless. This card is stone cold useless, and if they need the creature, they'll just pay this 5 life. That player sacks a creature. No, they just pay 5 life and it's gone. It's just awful. I guess it could have been considered. Shut up. Shut up, Siri. I guess this was a weird burn card at the time, in some sense. Need Commander. I don't even know if this is a Need Commander card. Someone will just pay the 5 life and it's gone. Is that how it works, or is it either one? To me, of each player's upkeep, that player may sack a creature. If the player doesn't, they lose 5 life and you sack the Pillar of... It should be the other way around. Each player loses 5 life. Otherwise, they sack a creature, which is obviously going to be worth more than the Pillar Tombs of Aku, and then you sack this thing. The tomb has been sealed, all right? It's flavorful. Look at that Caravex Spite, but thank you very much for the suggestion. Okay, Trevor Peebles. Check out Spoils of Evil. And be amazed. Time for us to be amazed here, people. Black 2 generic. It's an interrupt. For each artifact or creature in target opponent's graveyard, add 1 colorless mana to your mana pool and gain 1 life. Virtue has its rewards and does its opposite. For each artifact or creature in target opponent's graveyard, you get 1 colorless mana to your mana pool. It's like, it's the reverse channel, right? So based on how many things have died, I guess you can get some, you get a little bit of mana. You're still gonna have to pay life for it though, which is the downside. All right, do we have any other super chats? The Dragon. Thank you very much for the super chat, Wesley. This is apparently I always thought people were saying this is a blue-red dragon, but it's actually called, oh, sorry, the Drago. I was confused there. Not to be confused with the Dragon. Thank you very much, Wesley Gee. The Drago. Terrible card. 7 mana for a 4/4 with first strike, and creatures with Swamp Walk may be blocked as if they did not have this ability. It was good at the time with all the Swamp Walk creatures. You know what would have been more important at the time? Blocking Shadow. I don't think Shadow was invented yet, but that was probably more important. Not a new time, just a temporary one-day thing. Okay, what do we got here? Ryan with Selenia Dark Angel. This is part of the reserve list. All right, black, white, 3 generic for a 3/3 flyer. Pay 2 life, return Selenia Dark Angel to its owner's hand. Honestly, I don't think that's that bad. Basically, it's immortal. You can't kill this thing. I am light. I am dark. I must give my life to serve. Not even death can release me. Yeah, because we keep bouncing you back to our hand. It's not, like, I don't really want to play this in any deck. I'm assuming, like, some Angel decks might want this card. Like, don't get me wrong, for 5 mana, this is just plain bad. But it's like, it reminds me of Hibernation Sliver. Too bad it didn't give it to every other Angel. Pay 2 life, return the Angel back to your hand. You could probably have an infinite life combo going on over there. We get an update on Salud. Salud people has passed. R.I.P. Salud. Salud went down very, very, very peacefully. In a very, very happy way. His last few weeks were so good. But R.I.P. Salud. There was a point where his health, like, shot up, like, incredibly well. I saw a little bit of him that I never saw in, like, a year. But then just basically collapsed back down to what it was before. But thanks for asking. Next up we got, let's get the skeleton ship up here. The skeleton ship. Everyone's jumping on the gold cards now. Well, technically it works. All right, black, blue, 3 generic, 0-3. It's interesting. In exchange for making the card a lot harder to cast, the cards also got worse in a lot of ways. It's like, I don't know, I guess they were like really careful not to push the gold cards. A little too careful. Okay, it's a legendary skeleton. What is this thing, alive or something? It should be a vehicle. When you control no islands, sacrifice the skeleton ship. I don't know about everyone else, but I would think that a boat made out of skeleton bones wouldn't float very well. Or maybe they would, I don't know. Do bones float? Tap, put a -1/-1 counter on target creature. Oh god, that's so bad. The sea gives up her dead as easily as the soil. Limdul the Necromancer. Thank you very much for your thoughts. I really appreciate it. R.I.P. to Salud. It's always hard losing the ones we love, but he will always be with you and always, oh yes, and you will see each other again one day. He'll be with us in emotes. Can anyone use the emotes? I can't remember if I have these emotes. I know I have them on Twitch. Bulky says skeleton ship is still stronger than grandma, not until end of turn and costs less mana. Someone should like battle these really bad cards against each other to find out what is the worst deck of them all. These basically sort of look like AI generated cards. They're so underwhelming for the casting cost. Like this card can't even win the game. If you fill your deck up with this thing, it will do absolutely nothing. Salute the mischievous catgeist. Playing with snowmen. Amy Weber! Shout out to Amy. Yeah, she actually made... Oh, this is a combined effort of Amy Weber and Tom Wanderstrand. Alright, Andrea says, Boris Devil Boone. Boris! Red, black, 3 generic for a 2/2 zombie wizard. With the crazy activated ability of 4 mana, tap, put a 1/1 black and red demon creature token named Minor Demon onto the battlefield. We name these things, do we? Do we still name them based on the flavor Oracle text? Creature, yeah, we still name them. It's got a name. Bounce them all with echoing truth, and they're gone. Christopher B loves the suggestion. Tombstone Stairwell. I think this is good enough. Black, 2 generic. Enchant World. Commutative upkeep of a black 1 generic. During each upkeep, each player puts into play a tomb spawn token for each summon card in his or her graveyard. Treat these tokens as 2/2 black creatures that are unaffected by summoning sickness and count as zombies at end of turn, or if Tombstone Stairwell leaves play, bury all these tokens. You know what? This is such word soup. I sort of tuned out. It has cumulative upkeep of a black 1 generic, so it's not even going to be around for very long. At each upkeep, so long as this thing's on the battlefield, each player creates a 2/2 black zombie creature token with haste, named Tombspawn, for each creature card in their graveyard. But only at the beginning of upkeep, so you don't even get this card. At each upkeep, so like, what, our opponents use this as well? At the beginning of each upkeep, yeah, your opponents, they create 2/2 black zombies with haste. They nail you before you nail them. At the beginning of each end step, or when Tombstone leaves the battlefield, destroy all tokens created with it. Oh, that's interesting. So they make a bunch of tokens. If things get out of control on your opponent's side, you'll be like, I'm not paying for this anymore. That's it. Please repossess the Tombstone Stairwell. I don't want it. Girl, I'm going to enchant your world. Yeah, exactly. Artist is Dom. Dom! With exclamation point. Each player summons a potential legion of zombies that die every turn, and you each do so each turn. It's very, very weird. All right, Ecos with the flow of maggots. Anyone been called a maggot before? Oh, we saw this one card. Yeah, this card's terrible. We saw it before, though. I think Mirage and Odyssey have the fanciest set symbols. They had some good stuff back then. But you will have zombie synergy. Yeah, probably. I'm the one with the zombie deck here if I'm playing this card. Is this a real card? Squandered resources? Sources? Oh yeah, okay. Black green enchantment. Sack a land, add to your mana pool 1 mana of any type the sacrifice land could produce, play this ability as a mana source. It's not the worst thing in the world, and like it doesn't have any cumulative upkeep costs. I would say this is a good card. I would not be ragging on this card. This doubles your mana, right? So if you have a lot of lands in play, you got 5, 6, 7 lands in play, you float the mana, sack it all, get all your mana, blow up the world. I like this card. It's a little good for this list. I mean, if I were to take the top 10 cards from today's show, I mean, this would be number 1 so far. Squandered was actually really good back then. I wouldn't say it's bad today either. It's amazing with Crucible Worlds. Oh yeah, that's true. You already got a, or you know, what's it called? Ramanap Excavator or whatever it is. One of those cards. Where the thing is like, this card is easily abusable. It's got true potential. And it's only 2 mana. For the low price of 2 mana. It's good stuff. They get the 22s on your turn, or the 2/2s on your turn too. Oh my god, really? What, with the zombie card? During each upkeep, each player puts into play Tombspawn token for each summon card in his or her graveyard. Treat these tokens as 2/2. Oh yeah, it's right, it's each player. Okay, so we still get them zombies anyway. Do we have to exile the cards? This is a wild card. Let's just see how that card actually plays out. Gar with the super chat. Late start, but a Veldrain of Sanger is awful. Oh yeah, we saw this one. You people love this card for some reason. You love it for how bad it is. Who did I say this guy's from? This guy is from not the Walking Dead. The guy with the eye patch. Actually, no, it did not. No, sorry. You know what? I'm thinking of the wrong thing. I think I'm remembering this guy from like, not Lost in New York. Lost in Los Angeles. There's an eye patch guy. Snake! Is it Snake? No, Snape? I don't remember. But someone in the comment section will know what I'm talking about. The guy in the movie. That's it. Escape from LA and Escape from New York. I think I like the LA movie a lot better though. Because that's the one I remember from my childhood. Escape from New York. This was one of those things where, as a kid, I'm like, I want to see that Escape from LA movie, but I don't know which one is which. Like when I was a kid, so I like rent. I go to Blockbuster, rent Escape from New York, and I'm like, this isn't the movie I remember seeing like on TV, and it was terrible. There's the same experience I had when I rented. I wanted to see Terminator 2, but I didn't know there was a first one. So as a 11-year-old kid, I rent Terminator, and it was awful. It was so bad. I didn't enjoy it at all. I was like, what? I got so ripped off. I found the whole movie boring as an 11-year-old. Terminator 2 was too good. Kurt Russell. There's Kurt Russell right over there. Snake Plissken. That's what I was... Because they have Solid Snake, right? From the Metal Gear Solid movies. Probably was inspired by this guy, right? This guy came first. Snake Plissken. Draw. When this can hits the ground, we draw. All right, draw. They had that awesome basketball court scene. Okay, let's moving on. Oh, we have also some super chats. Okay, we'll get to Sarcomancy. Is it bad now? Probably. 1 black enchantment. When Sarcomancy enters the battlefield, put a 2/2 black zombie creature token onto the battlefield. At the beginning of your upkeep, if there are no zombies on the battlefield, Sarcomancy deals 1 damage to you. The card is bad, but I can imagine why it was good at the time. Like 1 mana 2/2 creature, that was pretty pushed. I mean, Savannah Lions was top tier. It's so weird to see, say like, a 2/1 vanilla creature was top tier back then. So a 2/2 was just even better. If you have no zombies, No one would play this by today's day. This card's terrible. Even in the worst of commander decks. It's still $5. Unbelievable. All right, what do we have left here? We got Flo Nino. Thank you so much for the super chat. Eben Prater. Black for generic for a 5/5. First strike trampler. Well, that's not too bad. At being your upkeep, put a -2/-2 counter on Eben Prater. Why are we making our creature so bad so quickly? So basically what on its first attack is just going to be a 3/3. Sacrifice a creature, remove a -2/-2 counter from Eben Praetor. If the sacrificed creature was a Thrall, put a +1/+0 counter on Eben Praetor. Play this ability only during your upkeep and only once each turn. You got it. So you got to sack creatures to make this card good. So I'll take my, what's it called? Juzam Dejin. Thank you very much. It's good enough for me. First strike and trample. Was that necessary? Garrett! Bog Elemental is Garb. The Bog Elemental. Unless you play Get Rog Monster, which they didn't print for a million years. Prophecy. This might be like the worst set of all time. This might be the, sorry, not the worst set of all time. It's like the worst set at the time. Maybe not. I want to say it's like the last worst set. Maybe that's not even the true because of Dragon's Maze. All right, black 3 generic 5/4 elemental. Protection from white. At the beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice Bog Elemental unless you sacrifice a land. Oh yeah, this card is absolute stone cold trash. I wonder what people felt at the time of Prophecy, because, you know, the Urza block was so outrageous. Oh no, wait a minute, it's not a reserve list. It's not reserve. This Prophecy. I should have saw it. Yeah, everything. I just said Mercadian Masks is when they stop the reserve list cards. This guy's a clock. It is, well, technically. No, not really. It's a 5/4, I guess. At the beginning of your upkeep, sack Bog Element unless you sacrifice land. I do not want to do that. And it's on the reserve list. Imprison. Imprison. Banned everywhere and in the reserve list. Is that true? Which one? This one? Nope. Well, it's not legal in a lot of stuff. I don't know if I know this card. It's not a reserve and in the reserve. It's not Imprison. Imprison. Sorry, you don't have the right card. Ecos. Ramses Overdark. For expensive Uber specific removal. Black, blue, 2 generic for a 4/3 human assassin. Assassin creature. This is boss art at the time. Tap, destroy target enchanted creature. I don't even know what it would even blow up today. Like, basically nothing. I guess, okay, so I guess you have to enchant the creatures. You just put like an enchantment on it that like triggers like, I don't know, card draw, and then Ramses Overdark kills it. Because, outside of that, you think, who uses auras and enchantments? Well, basically the Bogles deck, but they can't even be targeted. So it's like very, very rare that you would hit this in the wild, have any legal targets in the wild. So this guy, the Darth Vader of Legends 2 cycle to Bolus's Palpatine. Oh, cool. It's Darth Vader, people. Hates magic, boys. Imprison gives a warning on Scryfall? Really? Imprison? Oh, it's one of those cards. Imprison, so I can't even find it. Some of those, yeah, some of the culturally sensitive cards don't even show up here. Sorry about that. Yeah, they don't even show up sometimes. PLDL says blue and black are the curse enchant enemy, so it's close. Does make sense. Commander uses a lot of auras in multiple decks. Yeah, so that's what I'm thinking. Like you're the one who just puts the aura on something else. Or I guess that, you know, that could be true. So you like, maybe there's a few more in casual Commander, I imagine, not in competitive Commander. Are there any like auras you put on creatures in competitive Commander? Yeah, I think the only thing you'd put on is maybe Skull Clamp, but that's not even an aura. You basically has to be Skull Clamp power level to get the attention of a competitive player. So Commander uses a lot of stuff. Speaking of auras, Imprison or Tarash's Gate. I'll have a look up Tarash's Gate. What is this? All right, black, 1 generic, enchant land. Can only be played on a target land you control. Sacrifice a thrall to put 3 time counters on Tarash's Gate. During your upkeep, remove a time counter from Tarash's Gate. If there are no time counters on Tarash's Gate, bury it. Pay 0, tap land, Tarash's Gate, enchants. All attacking creatures you control get +2, -1 until end of turn. But you just sacked them all. I just sacrificed all my creatures. Or I sacrificed 3 thralls to put 3 time counters on it. I can remove a counter. If there are no counters on it, bury it. Oh, I see. So I can pay 0 to tap this thing. Oh, you can have it. Oh, no, you can't have infinite power because you can kill all your creatures. But if there's a way of untapping your land, you'd give the creatures theoretically a larger boost, like +4, -2. Not a pleasant sight. Not even on my lands. With my Ivy deck, I will enchant opponents and others' auras and copy it, then bounce the entire stack. Oh, God. You're an evil person. Reading is hard. Hey, reading is not so easy. Irene Singer. Irene sang this whole family of awful black cards. What's even going on here? All right, black, 2 generic for a 2/2. White enchantments and green enchantments cost an additional 2 to cast. Dude, I think that card's good. This is 24 cents. What, are you out of your mind? It's literally a taxing card with no downside. It's not even outrageously expensive at 4 mana. Like, that's pretty reasonable. You get that turn 2 a Soul Ring. Swamp. Soul Ring. Turn 2, Swamp. Irene Singer. Oh, I guess it hits your stuff too. But you just don't play with green or white. Very underrated card, in my opinion. Very, very underrated. House Singer is like the Kardashians of MTG. Is that how it is? They need a reality TV show. The house. This House of Sengir. House of Seng... I thought there was going to be a Singer house. Maybe I can't find it. Or maybe it doesn't exist. They just play Gloom instead. Whatever. You think Stacks only plays with one taxing card? No, they bring it all out. They get it all out. They'll play as many copies of any sort of variations of cards as they can. You play Gloom in addition to this and really put the screws to them. I'm not missing any super chats, am I? Yeah, I got everything. Has Guardian Beast been looked at already? Isn't that a good card? Thought that's like a really good card. As long as Guardian Beast is untapped, non-creature artifacts you control can't be enchanted. They're indestructible and other players can't gain control of them. This effect doesn't remove auras already attached to those artifacts. It's not bad. I think that's one of the better ones. So I wouldn't say it's bad. We gotta end on a bad card, people. Okay, what do you got for me, Garrett? Grave Robbers. Alright, we got black, 1 generic. 1/1 with a black tap ability. Take 1 artifact from any graveyard and remove it from the game. Gain 2 life. That is terrible. It's like a very bad Relic of Progenitus. So 1 artifact from any graveyard. I'm sorry, I don't know what I don't want to compare this to, but this is... It only hits the artifacts. It doesn't hit anything else. I guess it's flavorful, because that's the point. You're going in and taking their stuff, but I mean... This card's completely pointless. What do you even use this against? I don't know, There's like not much reanimator for artifacts, you know what I mean? Well, anyway, that's gonna be Coffee and MTG today. Thank you very much for being here. If you want to be part of the show, you gotta be here Monday to Friday, 11 o'clock a.m. Central Standard Time, usually. Sometimes there are exceptions. Thank you very much for being here. All the support, everyone who is a member on YouTube, a patron on Patreon, and everyone who super chats to be part of the show. But most importantly, or equally importantly, we've got to thank everyone who shows up at all hours, like King Ginger. And we got Garrett and Christopher B. and Coulter, Andrea, Crackling Jack, Argentina. We got Jess, Nalia, Burning Paper, Send, Geyer, Jess. We got Pierre. So thank you very much, everyone. And as usual, including Erland, as usual, my coffee crew, keep brewing up them coffees. And we'll keep brewing up the magic. Take care of yourselves. And I will see you at the next cup.